practitioner's energy, and then there's our energy. And so you have the practitioner's energy being, are they a clear conduit? Are they letting their ego get out of the way? Are they consciously trying to navigate the Reiki so that it feels a certain way? Or are they really like just able to get out of the way and let the Reiki flow however it needs to come through? And so this is why I'm a huge advocate of like working on yourself and doing the self-care so that you kind of know what messages and stuff that shows up, if it's yours or your clients. And so as the practitioner, some practitioners are really, really good at getting out of the way. And other practitioners, when they're like, they might have stuff going on that they have to filter it through to get to you. Right. And so if they haven't done enough self-healing themselves, it's got to go through their layers, their filter to get through, because the Reiki has to heals the practitioner, then overflows in abundance to the client. Right. And so if they've got stuff, it might have to go through that filter to get to you. And so sometimes it's like, as you know, as a practitioner, sometimes I feel I'm on it. Like I can totally get out of the way. It's flowing and it just feels great. And other times I'm like stressed out. I'm worried about my kids. I've got other things going on. And I'm just like, well, I'm going to send and like, hopefully it's working. Right. And sometimes the client is like, oh my God, it's exactly what I needed, because on their end, they have to be open and receptive as well. So the client has to be open and receptive. And sometimes the client has stuff going on in their own subconscious mind, conscious mind, where they may be more receptive at times more than others, right? And so it's two-sided. And oftentimes, like when I talk to Bruce about his experience, like Bruce Taylor, my co-professor at the ReikiCafe University, I talked to him about how he received Reiki in Japan from Reiki practitioners there. They literally tune in, set the intention, send the Reiki, and then there'll be multiple practitioners in the room and they start gossiping to one another. And I just think that is so hilarious, because they're like, no, they're running the channel, and then they're so detached from the Reiki that they're able to like have this gossiping dialogue. But also they've done enough Reiki that they can just be that clear conduit and disassociate and detach. And that's why some Reiki practitioners, they could be, going through their grocery list, and they can be doing these other things and still run the Reiki energy and be detached from where it's going or what it needs to do, and just move along. And so that's why this question is super difficult to answer, because it so depends on both a Reiki practitioner do they really have stuff getting in the way to be able to flow it? If they're in crisis, the Reiki is going to got to heal them first before it can move to the client, or it has to go through those filters. Versus the client, sometimes they're receptive and sometimes they're not. And so there's certain states where like I'm more receptive if I'm like fully relaxed and I've like set my intention to receive, versus I'm folding the laundry. And so it's very multifaceted. And oftentimes if it's someone who's close to us, if we have a lot of attachment to, let's say I'm giving Reiki to my spouse, he may have more layers there that he's putting blocks in the way, because he doesn't want me to feel into those energy layers, because we have such a close bond. He doesn't want to be vulnerable on that level. That's why it's easier for him to go to a stranger who doesn't know all of this stuff and receive a better healing. So it really totally depends. Totally. Yeah. Energy is energy, and we all interpret it differently and all receive it on some level differently. So, and that's why no two sessions are exactly the same either. Mm-hmm. And we've got, emotional and mental and spiritual and physical levels that we have to like work through. And so one session to the next, it's going to feel different.